Hey worship team and anyone serving at our Bracknell site in worship and production. You'll probably know recently we've changed the aviums that you were using for your in-ears if you were part of the band, and you're now using a new system by Alan Heath called the MEs. And here is just a short video to show you around them and explaining how they all work. So here is one of the ME units that we're using. Just across the back is where you can plug your headphones in, just like you could before, and they get all their information and power down a single Cat5 cable, so they don't need plugging into a traditional plug socket. So the first thing you want to do when you come to these units is recall the default settings, and that means anyone who's made any changes since they've last used them, that'll all be cleared and put it back to the default that we've created. It's really easy to do. Here you've got a recall button, so if you hold down recall, it will then ask you to select a key. So these flashing ones are where all the different sessions are stored, and then 16 is the one we've got loaded at the moment, which is why it's not flashing. But we want to reload it so it starts it fresh. So you press 16, and then it will ask you to, if you want to recall preset 16, and it will tell you what it's called, and it's called default. And it says press again to recall. So you press it again, and that will have now recalled the session. What makes these different to what you've had before is that unlike the aviums, which could only receive 16 channels of audio, this can receive up to 40. And then what you can do is you can group those microphones into different sections. But what it means is, for example, in your drums, is that as before you could probably only turn up or turn down your drum mix. On these you're actually receiving all 10 drum mics, which means you can individually control them all and take out certain ones. So the session we've started is we've already mapped 16 different groups or inputs to all the buttons, and as you select them it will tell you what they are. So the first one, we've got drums, we've got bass, electric left, electric right, keys, clicks, tracks, acoustics, handheld orange, handheld blue, handheld red, handheld white, extras, 14 is media, 15 is hosts, and 16 is your MD and your talkback mic. So just to talk you through the controls, up here you've got an option for a local microphone. That is disabled because we don't use that here. Across to the right you've got a master level, so this will control the overall level that you're getting to your microphone, so that will turn up and turn down all 16 channels. Down here you've got a master button which you use for the menu system. You've got a rotary knob here which we use to select different things, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you've got a group, solo and mute button. So on these buttons you'll see if I select different ones like a drum, I get a group light, where here on a bass I don't. And that's because on number 2 you are just receiving the bass level coming through, whereas when we've got a group it means we're receiving more than one microphone on that channel. So if we were to hit group, this will now give us a list of all the microphones. You've got kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, hats, tom 1, 2, 3, overhead left and right. So you can now control the level of each of these individual microphones, or as you can control the overall level. So if you hit group again, it will take you back out, and then on this rotary you can control the level of that drum group as a whole, or you can hit group, come into the inside, and you can select an individual mic. So if you click on snare top, you can then turn that up and down like that, individual control. As a default they're all kind of set around the middle, which give you just an overall mix, but if one is particularly too loud or you don't want to hear one of them, then you can come into here and take them out individually. In here you can also pan, so if you were to hold down this rotary, so you select, hold down, you can pan left and right, as you can see just on that left hand side. As a default they're all set to center. So that is how you control a group. To come out of the group, just hit the flashing group light, and you can do that across multiple ones. So if we come into keys for example and hit group, you can see we've got a keys channel, piano and pads, so you can control those individually. So on this one pads is turned down, so if you wanted pads on, come in here, select it and turn it up, and then deselect it like that. So that's how you control all the individual levels. We'll come out of the group there. If you wanted to solo and just hear one of the instruments, then just select which one, so say bass, and hit solo. That is now all you will hear is the bass. It will mute all the other channels. Then just unhit solo. And the same, if you want to mute, just have it selected and hit mute. Now if you've got a channel muted and then you carry on, you'll get a very slow blip on this light, and that's just to indicate it's muted. Untick it there. And that is how you get around the settings. So just remember at the beginning to reload a default, then just hit through the numbers turning it up and down, and then enter groups to adjust the mics individually. So if you're a sound engineer at Bracknell, this will be a slight change for you as well. On the desk, you'll no longer be able to go direct out and then dictate which button it is on for the musicians. You have to now stay out of that completely. The only information you'll have is if you click on your direct outs, all of our faulty inputs that we've seen on the MEs are already being routed to a specific number. And it's really important we don't change that, because the naming is tagged to the channel number. So if we start swapping those around, it's going to get super confusing. But you'll see on the audio desk there's a printout, a laminated printout on the wall now, which shows exactly which inputs go to where. So even if you're sending a saxophone down an acoustic channel, you'll just have to look at it and tell the band that. So if they're looking for that saxophone channel, you can tell them, oh, it's coming down acoustic 1, which they can then find in their acoustics. So really important we don't mess around with that. So, but also that should mean one less thing for you to worry about, because you've now not got the subgroups, you've not got the drum mixes, the keys mixes, all of that sort of stuff. So hopefully that will make your job a lot easier. And that is it. I hope you have fun using them. I hope you find it a lot easier. We've heard reports of them sounding a lot better, and you've obviously got the display now as well, so you've got a bit more control of what's going on. If you've got any problems with them, or something's not quite working right, or maybe there's something in the default file that you're constantly having to change, then just let us know. Drop us an email at production@kerith.church, and we can get it updated so then it's right for everyone. Yeah, and generally just let us know how you're getting on.